Yesterday, you were at the 9/11 memorial. We were all watching that.
Yeah.
And J.D. Vance was supposed to be with you. He went out to be with Charlie Kirk's family and to get the body back to his hometown in Arizona. And you said you were going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is very nice of you. Any updates on this suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But, yeah, I think we're in great shape. Mr. President. And he's in custody.
Be careful about these names, so we want to wait until we hear this from multiple people. But the name that we are hearing is Tyler Robinson from Utah. Tyler Robinson is the suspect in this case. We're expecting authorities to say that name momentarily here at this news conference as we look at this live picture right now in Orem, Utah, which is not far from the site of the tragic shooting that took Charlie Kirk's life just a couple of days ago. So again, Tyler Robinson is the name we are hearing, and hopefully we will get more details about how he was turned in, how Tyler Robinson came to the U.S. Marshals, and if he said anything to authorities. Maybe they won't get into that kind of detail, but certainly authorities are confident that Tyler Robinson is the person that they are looking for.
All right, guys, so we have some really big news. President Trump has just announced that Charlie Kirk's suspected assassin has been captured. Now, we don't know for certain, but the president says that they're fairly confident that this is the guy that they want. And apparently, they had some help getting him.
Suspicion was that he was radical left. And now you have more information. What can you share with us about his ideology?
Yeah, Lawrence, let me just, and by the way, Lawrence is doing a good job. What's going on?
Job.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of you. Thank you, sir. I said you were going to do well. Yeah, I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. But somebody close to him turned him in. You know, they said, whoa. It's interesting where we had very good pictures, but not great, not perfect. And when you look at it, what happened is somebody, and this happens a lot. It happened with the crazy Boston bomber. It happened with others. Somebody that's close recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but you know, I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So you have breaking news, don't you? Huh?
Thank you.
You always have breaking news, Ainsley. Sean's going to be very disappointed that we're not doing it on his show.
He'll be very thankful and appreciative of the police officers that got this guy.
They did a great job, everybody worked together. Pam Bondi is incredible, by the way. People don't know what a star she is. She's incredible. And it all worked out.
Could I ask you just some clarification? So a pastor was able to turn him in, or they got the family of the shooter to turn them in?
Well, it was a minister, and the minister went to a minister who was involved with law enforcement, by the way. And his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal. And they took it from there. And then it was a father got involved, namely his father. and said, we got to go in. And they, so I understand it. And again, subject to change. But, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for. But they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
Wow. Wow. If this is true, again, big if, right? As of right now, big if. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. If this suspected assassin has actually been caught, if this is the guy, because a couple times now they thought they had the guy, but turns out they didn't have the guy. So, you know, let's wait for an official announcement, but the president is saying that they got the guy. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and react to CNN's coverage of the announcement that they got Charlie Kirk's assassin.
And breaking news.
And as Chris was just saying it seems so because we do have breaking news. President Trump, in an interview with Fox News just now, and I believe the interview is still happening, said the following: I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him. Let's get straight back to Nick Watt in Utah on the ground. He was headed to go to this press conference. So, Nick, we now hear this from President Trump.
Right. So let's take that for what it is. We have not heard any more information here yet on the ground to confirm or add any more detail yet to what the president has just said. But listen, as I said earlier, as we were just hearing, yesterday during the day, there were increments. Last night, all of that new information was released. Those enhanced, we were told, photographs showing that suspect, showing that distinctive clothing, showing him running off the roof. So perhaps that has helped in some way. Listen, the governor here in Utah did say they could not do their job without the public's help. There were huge appeals for the public's help. There was a $100,000 reward. We were told that they'd actually received about 7,000 tips from the public. So this, during the day yesterday, as they released more information, as they released more images, that perhaps is what picked up this this investigation and led to what the president is saying is a person in custody. Now, remember, of course, the FBI Director Kash Patel came out very soon after the shooting to say that there was a suspect in custody. That had to be walked back. So we are still waiting for confirmation, for more detail to fill out the details behind what the president has just announced. Guys?
Yeah. So, again, I'm just hoping that this is true. I'm hoping that this is the guy. Apparently, again, there were family members involved, a minister involved. So, I mean, they, again, as President Trump stated, they have a high degree of certainty that they have the guy. Now, you know, I've been saying the whole time that they're going to get him sooner rather than later. It is hard to escape, to leave a state like Utah after something like that, where you have a manhunt that is happening for you. And then, you know, once they start to release images and pictures to the public, yeah, I mean, somebody knows this guy, right? And then you got the reward, $10,000. You know, it was only a matter of time that before they were going to find the guy. And I'm glad that they did find him, because, you know, I think that the way that I'm going to be judging the Trump DOJ, right, the FBI, is their ability to do stuff like this, right, to solve actual real crimes, okay? And this is what we want to see, right? We want to see good work from the FBI, our law enforcement, going after guys like this. Apparently, they have identified the shooter as Tyler Robinson, okay? This guy, again, all of this is preliminary, right? They're saying that this is the guy. This is what we have so far, okay? Now, again, we don't know for sure, okay, as of the making of this video, but this is what is being reported in the media, okay? This certainly looks like the dude or the suspect of interest, right? This is what we're seeing right here, okay? Apparently, he was a student at Utah State University. So, yeah, that's what we have right now, okay, as of right now. And, you know, apparently, they're going to try to get the death penalty, okay, if this guy is convicted. And I just want to say this. If this guy is, in fact, executed, it needs to be public. We need to bring back public executions. If this guy is found guilty, and he is executed, it needs to be public, because a message needs to be sent to these leftists that this is what happens if you think that violence is the answer to speech that you don't like. Because a lot of these people are sitting on the internet, and they've been doing it for the last 24 to 48 hours. Okay, it's been a rough 24 to 48 hours, because I've watched people essentially justify killing people over a difference of political beliefs. Specifically, it's okay to kill conservatives over a difference of political beliefs. I've seen these people on the internet for 24 to 48 hours straight justify that. And we live in a country like that. You got to make an example of somebody that actually did act on that, which likely was this individual acting on that. That's why his execution, if it happens, needs to be public, to send a message to these radical extremists that you're not going to be celebrated, that this country is not going to see you as a hero for committing these types of violent acts, because that's what these people are now promoting and incentivizing. They're trying to incentivize more of this stuff to happen by celebrating. And again, I'm getting into a conversation that I'm probably going to have in another video, right? But again, capturing this guy, the suspect, that was my main focus over the past 48 hours. Just getting this guy before really dealing with these individuals that are celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But like I said, if this guy is the guy, if he is found guilty, if they sentence him to execution, it needs to be public. Same thing with the guy that murdered the United Healthcare CEO. I believe due to federal charges that he is eligible for the death penalty. And if they find him guilty and, you know, he receives the death penalty, I think that it should be public. I think it should be public. Because leftists deified him. They celebrated him, right? And again, it's unfortunate that we've gotten to this point in this country. But again, that is what's happening. And I think a lot of eyes have been opened. Again, we're going to talk a little more about this. I'm going to cover more of this stuff, right? More of the reactions, right? But now that we got the guy, okay, we can actually really get into some of the reactions. But yeah, I mean, the stuff that we're seeing is disgusting. You have people that are trying to justify and rationalize this type of violence. That's what you're seeing. And it is wrong. It is absolutely wrong, and it must be called out. It must be addressed. And I think the best way to do it is to make sure that these people who actually do act on this stuff, they're not deified, they're not glorified, they're not honored, and that a harsh example is made out of anybody who will commit this type of act of violence. That's what has to happen. So anyways, again, I'm hoping that this is the person, right? I'm hoping and praying that this is actually the person. Again, we're going to see. We're going to have more information. But as of right now, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.